Measles is continuing to spread across the western United States.
And what changes are coming to Kentucky laws?
Bring it.
Welcome to News Channel 12 Live at 1. I'm Hannah Hammelbeck.
And I'm Addie Shaney. 3 months into 2025, the U.S. has already seen more measles cases than all of last year. The CDC reports 328 confirmed cases across the country, with the majority in Texas and New Mexico. Health officials say 75% of those infected are under 20 years old. So far, 2 people have died from the virus. Here in Kentucky, state officials confirmed a measles case in late February. The virus spreads easily through coughing and sneezing, and experts warn it can lead to serious complications. Doctors recommend checking your vaccination records to make sure you're protected.
A popular messaging app called Signal was used for President Trump's administration to discuss secret war plans. The Atlantic's chief editor was mistakenly added to the group, in which he took screenshots of the text threads. Senior officials discussed attack plans on the Iran-backed Houthi group in Yemen. The screenshots showed classified information between Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. When Pete Hegseth was asked why he shared plans on the Signal app about a forthcoming attack on Yemen, he said, "Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that."
New tariffs on foreign goods are sparking tensions with U.S. allies. News Channel 12's Alec Fouch explains why Kentucky's most famous export is at risk.
A long-standing headache that the Trump administration looks to address. But how does one make the government more efficient, and how will this affect Kentuckians? United States Senator Rand Paul gives his thoughts.
All government really is inefficient. If I ask each of you for $1,000 and we're going to start a business together, you'd think about how many hours it took to work, and you'd be very conscious of giving me $1,000 because you had to work for that $1,000. But if you're a politician, I ask you for $1 million, it's like, it's not my money. And so they're not as good at overseeing the money because it's not their money. Ultimately, there's going to have to be an approval process. Everything DOJ says they're ultimately cutting, they're probably not going to be allowed to ultimately unless it comes back to Congress. The president collects all this waste and he says, we can do it for $100 billion less than Congress asked us to do it for. I think that's going to happen later this year. There may be a court challenge, whether he can impound it. If he loses a court challenge, I think he's going to have to send it back to us. I'm encouraging that to happen anyway. I think the people will be happier if it's not just done unilaterally, if there's a vote of Congress to send the money back.
The Trump administration has also sought to change the way the nation goes about trade. This is especially important in the exportation of goods like Kentucky bourbon, which is currently being restricted in Canada in response to tariffs enacted by the president.
Well, it's a retaliatory tariff. This is what happens in tariff wars. So they don't have an equivalent product, but if we're going to tariff lumber and steel they sell to us, they're going to tariff bourbon we sell to them. So the only way to get rid of retaliatory tariffs is don't retaliate first. Tariffs ultimately are a tax, and they do make prices higher.
Kentucky exported $43 million worth of whiskey to Canada in 2023. And according to the Kentucky Distillers Association, the 25% tariff on American-made products would have far-reaching consequences for the state and jeopardize growth in the industry for years to come. While the outcome of this action remains to be seen, Kentuckians can only hope that a trade war isn't bubbling with our northerly neighbors. In Bowling Green, for News Channel 12, I'm Alec Fouch.
The recent cuts to DEI programs have left many Americans questioning the future of these initiatives and the potential impacts on society. Here's what you need to know.
DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. These programs were created to protect against discrimination in workplaces, colleges, and other organizations. They focus on training, supporting working parents, and offering employee resource groups to create a more inclusive environment.
In compliance with the Department of Government Efficiency, these programs are being cut due to cleaning up government spending. DEI programs were deemed by the Trump administration as radical and wasteful.
This has major impacts here on campus. Student housing, admissions, and federal aid are all affected. The Department of Education has stated that race can no longer be considered in these areas and has given institutions just 2 weeks to comply with the order. At least 45 universities are now under investigation for failing to follow that order.
Yesterday, the House overturned Beshear's vote on House Bill number 4, and WKU has released a statement about the bill. We will work closely with our general counsel to fully understand the law and its implications. Before the bill takes effect on June 30th, 2025, we will communicate any necessary changes broadly within the campus community.
Conversion therapy is now legal for children in Kentucky. State lawmakers overrode Governor Beshear's veto of House Bill 495. The Republican-led legislature passed a bill that overturns a previous ban on conversion therapy for minors. The practice attempts to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity through counseling. Republicans say the bill protects parental rights, but Beshear calls it dangerous and discriminatory, blaming the practice for the deaths of Kentucky children. The bill also blocks Medicaid from covering hormone replacement therapy or other gender-affirming care for transgender people.
The Trump administration is working to dismantle the Department of Education. Reporter Brenna Hagan talked to a future educator about possible changes in students' education.
Second grade to senior year in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer my whole life. But something in senior year, I was like, actually, I plan on having kids, so I want to be more involved in my kids' life. And I love history and I love school, and I'm like, why not just combine those two?
Grace Woodall is a WKU student and plans to pursue education after graduation. With recent legislation including the abolishment of the Department of Education, the future for young educators is looking uncertain.
Walking in knowing the basics, like I went to public school, so I have that expectation, but I also go to school here in Kentucky, and I plan on teaching in Tennessee, so it's kind of different, and especially if things fall into place that a certain group is wanting, I feel like it's going to be, the divide in stature is going to be even bigger.
Secretary of Education Linda McMahon says that the abolition of the department was aligned with the Trump administration's goal to give education back to the states, allowing them more freedom in how these funds are allotted.
And so governors and state superintendents of education have said, look, if we have the funding coming in which allows us to be more creative, how can we spend that? The president believes, as I do, that the best education is that's closest to the students.
Currently, the Department of Education focuses on finances for public education institutions. The Trump administration plans to redistribute these tasks to other administrations. Another job of the Department of Education is regulating services for students, including students with disabilities and low-income students. For student teachers like Woodall, the changes have raised some questions.
But it has definitely been the talk around the town, basically, that it could impact us getting adjusted and being new teachers.
Despite these changes, future teachers and current teachers alike are learning to adapt with these developments. From media influences to pandemics, there will still be people like Woodall who will continue to rise to the challenge. With News Channel 12, I'm Brenna Hagan.
Looks like it's going to be rainy this weekend. I'm hoping you can tell us that there's going to be some dry periods to maybe get outside, play some pickleball, do some grilling.
We have that first round of rain coming through on Saturday. We get a little bit of a break going into our Sunday, but unfortunately we go into a risk of severe weather going into Sunday night into Monday morning. But we still have 2 days before we have to worry about all that. Our Friday right now is absolutely gorgeous. Upper 70s right now. It is a little bit gusty out there. In the mid-teens in most of the area, even breaking into the 20s up near Henderson. But it's really just taking off the edge for those really, really warm temperatures, making it feel super nice outside. Now, this is not something we're used to seeing in the month of March. Those 70s and 80s is absolutely crazy, but it will be important for that severe weather setup. Our radar is pretty clear right now. We got a few high clouds, but it is mainly just blue skies out there. A lot of good stuff going on in those warm temperatures for our Friday. Now, as we go into this weekend, we do have that severe threat, but once that severe threat passes, we will get a cool down as we start off our next week. I'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you so much, Donovan. When we come back, one group on campus is stepping out of the box into the world of speech.
And learn about the resources the Warren County Library is offering all for free.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Cherry blossoms are in full bloom here on campus, and they're more than just a beautiful sight. Reporter Megan Geisler shows us how these flowers inspired WKU students to celebrate Japanese culture.
Lightly translated to mean flower viewing, Hanami is the Japanese traditional custom of enjoying the beauty of flowers. In 2006, WKU planted 100 cherry trees to celebrate the centennial of the university's founding. Every year, these flowers bloom in early spring for everyone to enjoy. This year, the university celebrated by hosting Ohanami, an event that highlights Japanese culture and international exposure.
And we're here definitely to showcase the Japanese culture and to also let people know that there are opportunities in WKU to study abroad and also for international students.
Getting the opportunity to study abroad is an amazing opportunity that students at WKU are offered and encouraged to take. Many people at the event today spoke of their experience abroad and why they believe it is important to understand and embrace different cultures around the world.
You can't really go out into the modern world without knowing, having some idea of a global mindset or something, that just being more open to other cultures, other ideas. Just, you can't stick with just what you learn, in your hometown.
I mean, first of all, is exposure. You'll be exposed to different cultures, and it's really important for someone. It gives you an upper hand, the diversity of it. You get to learn other people's culture. You get to be a part of a global perspective of things generally. Yeah.
Overall, the event was a success, and many students were able to learn about all the different opportunities here at WKU. For News Channel 12, I'm Megan Geisler.
The cherry blossoms are so beautiful, but they're also pretty short-lived, so you've got to get out and enjoy them fast.
You have to catch them while they're there.
Yes, they go away quick.
All right, and something else that is flourishing on campus is WKU's forensic team. Reporter Jonah Johnson takes a closer look into the world of speech and debate.
Spring has arrived on the Hill. While most students are buried in books and assignments, a select few are balancing something extra, bringing their voices, their stories, and their movements to life.
You are the watched, clocked, cropped, cut into
Hi, my name is Finn Larson. I'm a sophomore here on the Hill, and I'm a part of the Western Kentucky speech and debate team.
When people hear speech and debate, they often picture a courtroom or presidential debate stage. But this is something entirely different.
This activity is not what you think. If I perform some of my speeches out in public, I don't know, I might get the cops called on me, so.
And not because of the content, but because of the movement.
That the ridiculous and the ruthless share the same stage.
Movement and choreography is a huge aspect of my performances. While some categories like info and persuasion are more what you think when you think of speech, I perform in categories like program, oral interpretation, and poetry, and in events like these, movement is necessary to convey my message.
Hours of practice, countless rehearsals, every motion carefully crafted to speak just as loudly as his words.
The eye sits high in the tower.
So I have ADHD, so this year I'm doing a poetry on the commodification of focus. These workplaces are importing like AI monitoring to quantify exactly how much work we're putting in. And for ADHD people, how much focus we have like on the screen is not, it doesn't correlate to how much work we're actually getting done. I have this picture for meditation on Adderall where I have my foot up. And then at the end, it's like I'm struggling and I'm fighting my body, so I have to like physically grab my foot and force it into there, and it's just my body doesn't want to do it. I don't know, I really like that piece of movement. I definitely couldn't convey the emotions of specifically that poem without movement, because the crux of that character is this fight against his body, and so being able to literally manifest that through my movement it helps immensely.
The final product, every step, every gesture, brings his story to life. And with nationals just around the corner, Finn and his teammates are ready to take the stage and take home the win.
We are wishing our forensic team good luck as they head to their national competition.
A new program at the Warren County Library is encouraging students to take advantage of the library's resources. Reporter Conley Moore has the story.
The Warren County Public Library offers more than just books. Big Red Reads is a student-led initiative aimed at increasing the number of WKU students with library cards, giving them access to free resources.
Warren County Public Libraries provides a lot of different resources. So they do free movie nights, kind of like bring your own food and beverages. You can do those as well. They have a lot of like craft events, things you can do to just kind of get your mind off of like the school and stress, and then also just provide a space outside of campus for kids to be able to come and study, work on homework, and do things like that.
Beyond books and events, the library offers computers, printing services, and staff there ready to help.
I feel like once the students know that we're here and how helpful we are, I feel like they feel free to come in and use the computers or get things printed off, and they know that we'll help them.
And getting a library card is easier than you may think.
Also, you don't have to live in Bowling Green, be from Bowling Green, or even have a Kentucky license. As long as you have a resident here, whether that be a dorm, apartment, whatever it might be, you can register for a library card and have access to kind of like all those resources.
Big Red Reads is making sure students take advantage of everything the library has to offer. For more information, visit the Warren County Public Library or follow Big Red Reads on social media. For News Channel 12, I'm Conley Moore.
I know I use my local library at home to get audiobooks to my phone. You don't even have to go in person. You can just do it on the app. So there's lots of resources you wouldn't even think about that you can get at your library.
Right, yeah. After the break, Donovan Roach has a detailed look into our weather.
And later in the show, Cole McIntyre and Ryan Murphy join us in studio for a look into sports.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Western Weather Watch. I'm your forecaster, Donovan Roach. What is going on with these temperatures here? We've got upper 70s and even 80s here in Bowling Green at the end of March. This is like early summer temperatures, and we're seeing this at the end of March. That is an absolutely crazy stat. Fun fact for you guys, the average temperature in Bowling Green in March is 58 degrees, so we are well exceeding that all across the area. That radar now is pretty clean outside. We got a few high clouds near us here in Bowling Green, but it is an absolutely gorgeous Friday. It's really breezy outside as well. But there's a lot more blue sky out there than anything. Today's going to be a great day to get any outdoor work done because of the threat that we've got this weekend of severe weather. Now, as we look at that future radar, we can see that those clouds are going to start moving into the area around tonight, going into Saturday morning. Now, that first nose of the rain as that warm front passes, you all here in Paducah, you're going to start seeing that at around 6:30 or 7 p.m. as those storms nudge eastward. We'll see them here in Bowling Green later in the Saturday night, probably looking at around 10:30. But that's going to be the first round. It's going to be a lot of light rain. There's not going to be a whole lot going on with that for us to worry about. Now, the real fun part is going to be Sunday night. That's when the weather gets extremely interesting. We have the second round of this storm nosing through. 6:30 p.m. we've got spotty showers everywhere in the area. A lot more of that green out here in east from the first round of that storm as well. But as we move into Sunday night, that's when the severe threat really kicks off. Now, this is going to be a nocturnal storm. Nocturnal storms are a lot more dangerous because we're not used to those at night. A lot of people are asleep. They're not expecting them to come through. So it's definitely a good idea to make sure you've got a plan together to make sure that you are going to be safe in the event that severe weather strikes your area. This is our SPC outlook so far. We are right in the enhanced region, but it looks like a lot of that severity of the storm is going to stay here in northeastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, western Tennessee, and anything that fires up is going to move mainly close to our direction. Anything that we see that's going to be bad is going to originate down in that eastern Arkansas portion. Now, when there is severe weather impeding, it is always great to have a plan. Make sure you have a kit. Throw some snacks in there. Severe weather does not care if you are hungry, and it's not good to be nervous about weather and have an empty stomach. Make sure you have a safe place to go, You want to be in the lowest level if you have multiple stories, or in the center if you are on one story. Make sure you have a way to get alerted. That's the most important, and make sure you charge those devices. Now, as that severe weather passes through, at the end of Sunday, it'll go into Monday, and it'll start feeling much more like March. Back over to you ladies at the desk.
Thank you so much, Donovan. Up next, the transfer portal is open and shaking things up here on the Hill.
And who has entered the portal here on campus? Next on News Channel 12.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys. You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back into News Channel 12. Your look at sports starts right now, and Ryan, March is here. The madness is here. I know Kentucky fans are happy with the result last night, Coach Cal going down, but the transfer portal is still shaking things up. It is open. 6 players are in the portal across the programs. Let's start with the Lady Toppers.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have to look at the Lady Toppers quick. Not looking as crazy as maybe the men's side of things, but currently only in the portal, Josie Gilvin and Mackenzie Chatfield, both juniors in the program this year. Mackenzie basically doubled her output from last season. She was a big part of their run throughout the entirety of the regular season, put up good minutes in the conference tournament as well. But Josie Gilvin, she's the one that really stands out as someone who you would hate to see for the Lady Tops to lose in the transfer portal.
Yep.
But if it came to that, it's just going to be something they'll have to plan for. But Josie Gilvin's kind of been a staple over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and like you said with Josie Gilvin, she is such a key piece on the defensive side of the ball and what she's able to do with that team. But when we look at this men's basketball team, 4 players are in the portal. Some headliners being Don McHenry, the leading scorer, Babacar Faye, who went down early with an injury, Enoch Kalambe, who missed part of the season, and then also Julia Stedford, who missed the tail end of the season after that MTSU game in January due to a knee injury. He did not really appear on the bench towards the tail end of the season at all, even just to be at the games. I know he was injured, but he wasn't even on the bench. So these are 4 players that are key players that are in the portal. Now, again, just because a player is in the portal does not mean that they are gone. It means that they are exploring options. So there is a way that Baba and Don and Enoch and Julius come back. But I have heard some rumors, of course, Julius being from Memphis. Memphis is taking a look at him. No official word on that yet, though.
Yeah, and of course, also for the Lady Tops, they've got a couple that they've looked at that are possible to enter the transfer portal soon as well. But Sophie Telegdi actually announced on her social media she will be coming back to the Hill next year. So that's something that's good to see.
There you go. Well, we've still got some more things here on News Channel 12. A look at some graduation plans is right here on News Channel 12, live at 1.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. Addie, it's been so much fun doing this with you
It's been a pleasure.
as always.
I know. Thanks so much for watching News Channel 12. Everybody have a great week.